Bom dia a todos, senhores e senhoras da América Latina. Buenos dias, hello todos da América Latina. Good morning, everyone in Latin America. My name is Andre Iervolino. I am the Chief Technology Officer for a financial institution in Charleston, South Carolina, in the United States. And it is a great pleasure to be here to present to you and talk to you about data analytics. So during this masterclass, I will be showing you how to create a business intelligence and analytics strategic plan all the way from A through Z. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll be seeing you at the end of the presentation. Thank you very much. So when we talk about data analytics and business intelligence, the first thing that comes to mind is what? Is analysis and data. Well, before we start to design a strategic plan for, in fact, any type of discipline or dimension in any organization or business, it is important to go through the 3 steps that I designed here. It's the 3-step planning process. On this planning process, the first step is to identify the overall organizational business drivers and key result areas business intelligence must impact for optimal business growth. That is usually business drivers such as new member or member acquisition, retention, attrition ratios on an annual basis, net income, member experience metrics, employee experience metrics, things of that sort. Customer participation in your institution, if you are a financial institution, things like that. So after you identify those variables, you go to step 2. On step 2, you must identify the dimensions of the business that impact the organizational business drivers the most. So it's usually 6 different dimensions. So you have to look at price, you have to look at product development, you look at promotion, you look at place, which is a distribution, the service delivery for your business or organization, your people, which is basically human capital, and your processes. So as you identify step 1, so you know your organizational business drivers, you know on step 2 what impacts those drivers. Then step 3 is to create the BI and strategic and operational plan. Now the question is, okay, what do you do? What should you do first when you're creating a business intelligence strategic plan? The very first thing we have to do is approach the business intelligence analytics group as a startup company within your company. In other words, you have a flat organizational chart that helps the communication between the leaders who set the strategy and the individual contributors who execute on the strategy. And you have to know where you're going. So few years from now, what do you want that unit within the organization to become? In the case of my experience with business intelligence in the last 20 years, I've done that in multiple financial institutions. The vision is to become a prescriptive enterprise driven by a democratized data culture from insight to foresight. Let me explain to you what that means. Becoming a prescriptive enterprise means you can see problems and business challenges coming before they happen, and you design prescription solutions for those problems before they happen. And democratization of data means that everyone in the organization, you're looking at your sales force all the way up to the CEO and the C-level suite. Everybody not just has access to data and analytics and insights, but they know how to draw conclusions and strategic recommendations from it because you're trained. So that's what is called democratization of data. On this slide, you can see that I described the 4 levels of analytics in a company. So the first level is called descriptive analytics. It basically shows what happened. Then diagnostic analytics explains why that happened. Then predictive analytics is predicting what is going to happen. And prescriptive analytics is, okay, how can we make it happen? In other words, what kind of solutions can we design based on the predictive models that diagnose the descriptive analytics? The next thing you need to look at when designing, in fact, any strategic plan, you got to look at the mission of your department or your business unit. What does that mean? It means it defines who you are. So in the case of my experience with analytics and BI in the past 20 years of my career, I've identified the purpose of the business intelligence unit as a provider of data-related services that generates actionable business intelligence through all those 4 levels of analytics that I just described. So that is who we are. Then the next thing is you need to design a strategy, okay? A strategy is basically what you're going to do in order to fulfill your significance described on the mission statement of your department, in addition to fulfilling the vision from 1 to 3 years from now. So the data strategy that I have designed and implemented in multiple financial institutions here in the United States, LA, San Diego, Colorado, and now South Carolina, is to leverage the power of data and information at all levels of the organization by sourcing and analyzing it to make actionable and profitable decisions. After you design your vision, your mission, and your primary strategy or data strategy, you have to identify what the key result areas are for this plan. So in the case of the BI analytics plan, you're looking at 6 different areas. So the first area is revenue, which means, okay, how can we make money off of our data, off of our insights? The second one in efficiencies. So how can we produce or generate efficiencies within the organization, also known as process improvement, in order to save money and become and expedite processes to impact member experience and employee experience, therefore impacting net income of the organization. In addition to that, the next key result area is data governance. Why is that important? Well, simply because if you have junk data, you're going to have junk insights. So you need to have good data to have good insights. Compliance. In the case of compliance, is using intelligence and data in order to be compliant with any kind of institution that oversees our industry, in addition to catching errors and things like that. Then you have the BI tools, which is basically self-explanatory. It's the tools that we use in order to produce all this intelligence to be used for revenue generation, efficiency creation, and so forth. And you have the BI team. Here's the kicker. Without a best-in-class group, organizations cannot execute on a business intelligence strategic plan properly. That's extremely important to keep in mind. Resources. And also, in terms of resources, it's becoming very competitive. In the case of financial institutions, for example, we no longer compete against each other only for human capital. We're also competing against the Silicon Valley startups and fintechs of the world that tend to catch the attention of those best-in-class professionals, leaving us, to fight irrelevancy. So the next step on this creation of this plan is to look at what are the dimensions and services that the BI analytics group, as we identify as a startup company within a company, basically are. So when you look at the final objective, right, of this group, which is to basically provide actionable intelligence to the organization for decision-making and revenue generation, there are 3 groups that are very specialized, and each one of those have a different purpose, and they focus on different things. The first one is the Enterprise Data Management Services group. That group is responsible specifically for data governance, data warehousing. They are also responsible for any kind of data management and processes like ETL processes, and SQL scripts, Java scripts, storage scripts, all the kind of stuff. Then you have the strategic data services. That is the analytics group. That's where you have data science, when you have predictable modeling, you have all those analytics that we talked about, diagnostic and so forth, reporting, ad hoc reporting, data visualization, all of that is under that, including the application of artificial intelligence algorithms and machine learning and neural network methodologies. So, and the third and most recent identified subdivision or subdimension of business intelligence analytics is the DevOps group. So the DevOps group, that's short for development operations, is a group that designs UI, UX, software, and processes from the ground up, from scratch. So those individuals know certain architectures, and what they can do is they can integrate data intelligence and insights across the enterprise. That's what they do. They're the ones who make the intelligence available in a beautiful format that can be used by everyone. Over the years, I've identified 9 different business intelligence integrated programs. What those guys are basically the initiation of the operationalization of the BI analytics strategic plan. So the first program is called Data Reporting and Visualization. On that program, what we do is we pretty much create all kinds of reports imaginable for the credit union, or in this case for REV, which is the institution that I work for, and visualization, which is, dashboards, the Tableau, SSRS, or Power BI, where those dashboards are basically provide insight, on-demand insights. It is live, and it can be used for production management. You can use for projections and forecasting of anything. And those licenses are enterprise licenses that you can purchase, so everyone has access to the dashboards throughout the organization. It is very easy to design, and they all point it out to the data warehouse, so the data is also validated. That is one of the programs. The other program is called Data Governance and Warehousing. On the program, basically, we're looking at identifying warehousing technologies and architectures to make data reporting visualization possible. That's where all the data is stored from the business. And that's where the data is basically governed. In other words, when you look at definition of data or definition of data fields or mapping of those fields, that is all done under data governance as a discipline. So for example, if I asked you, okay, how do you define a customer or a member in your business? Well, you have to define that very clearly in very excruciating detail in order to have an effective data governance policy in place. So that way there is no discrepancy of data throughout the enterprise. So everybody knows that what the data source is, everybody knows what the criteria is for the data, and everybody uses the same data, makes decision, and gets insights from the same data. The next one, integrated program, is called data sources. That is where we look at all the data sources, okay, in your core or in your business systems, or data sources that are outside of your organization on your servers. That specific program is all about integrating all of this data into one true source of truth called the data warehouse, where you have everything there. Okay, so the next program is called target marketing. Well, after you have data reporting, visualization, governance, and warehousing, and sources all together working very well, like in well-oiled machine, you can create or impact these next 6 programs or these next 4 programs. One is target marketing. In target marketing, that's where you generate revenue through target segmentation. And segmentation is an extremely important piece of the business. Why? Because segmentation, you're able to market to the right people at the right time, through the right channels, with the right product. So that's what targeted marketing is. Now, consumer marketing sites, that's a different program. On that program, basically, we're looking at marketing sites. We answer questions such as, where should we put our next point of sale? What market should we enter? What market should we exit? When you look at mergers and acquisitions, what kind of other business should we be looking at to acquire or not acquire? How does our competition look like? How is the demand for the products and services within those primary, secondary, tertiary areas that we're focusing on. All of that is answered through the consumer marketing science, including consumer behavior. So we look at psychographics as well. Data science. Data science is the most advanced component of a business intelligence strategic plan. Basically, data science is when you apply from predictive model algorithms to predict something, all the way to artificial intelligence application that automates something, a process. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that moving forward here, but that's what data science is. And in summary, the next three programs, BI Tools, the BI Team, and Strategic Performance, are programs where we identify the tools that we need to use to accomplish all the previous 6 programs, who, the human capital, what kind of team members and what people do we need to hire, what kind of work chart we need to develop in order to accomplish all the other programs, and how we measure our strategic performance of all of those programs together. That's what those, in summary, what those last 3 programs are. So I am going to show you 3 programs because we only have 30 minutes in this presentation. It would take an hour to present all the other programs, but I'm going to present to you the data reporting visualization program. So what I've done in the past and currently is we design a strategy for the data reporting visualization program. You ask yourself, okay, what is this program going to do? And here's the answer: provide organization with the right reports, with the right data that basically helps people to make decisions, okay? I put some examples of things that we've done in the past. I've done that through my teams. On those are basically dashboards. What the dashboards show is who your customers are, how they are segmented, what is the distribution within the market and your customer member base, in addition to their profitability, and what to do with that profitability segment, which means, okay, if a segment is unprofitable, why that segment is unprofitable, and what do you need to do in order to make it profitable? And if a segment is profitable, how do you make that segment more profitable, keep it profitable? That's what those dashboards answer for you. The next program is called Consumer and Marketing Sites. In this program, as I told you, basically the strategy is to provide an enterprise with actionable insights for members, markets, and competitors. It's the who, what, when, why, where, and how, basically, of the business. So in this case, I picked, a few deliverables that we've done in the past, and that is basically showing you the branch trading area of point of sales for certain financial institutions in Los Angeles and in San Diego. And what that shows you is, the total household clustering in LA County by neighbor, by block group, in addition to identifying branch trading area. In this case, it's a 7-minute drive time. So in this specific program, you can look at thousands of variables that will tell you exactly where you should be placing points of sale, not just for financial institutions, but also by industry. Any industry does that. Target, Walmart, Amazon, any retail company or business do those analysis. They have hundreds of people doing that every day to identify the most potential spot they need to be and to optimize the overall service delivery network. And here's the data science program that I told you I was going to talk to you a little bit about it. There are many, many, many things you can do with those programs, but I just picked a few examples to share with you. On the data science integrated program, essentially the strategy, or what we're going to do, is to identify revenue potential, opportunities, business efficiencies by provide business intelligence and advanced analytics to be used in predictive models, creation of indices, and application of artificial intelligence. Well, in the case here, we partner, in fact, with a company called CRISE, where they provided us with 3 different predictive models. One is called the engagement score, the other one is attrition, the other one is product propensity and cross-selling. So when you mix and match all these 3 predictive models together for target marketing, it becomes a very powerful tool. Why? Because you're able to identify what customers, or members of your financial institution or business, doesn't matter if it's a financial institution, Who are the customers that are engaged? Who are the customers that are not engaged? What is the likelihood to not do business with you anymore and stop that relationship? But what can you sell to them in order to impact attrition and therefore making them more engaged? So that's what those predictive models indicate. So it was basically essentially a pleasure to talk to you. I hope that, I know those are weird times. We have the COVID-19 happening. As you know, you probably don't know that, but I'm Brazilian. I was born and raised in Brazil, lived there for 20 years. My mother and my father are in Brazil, and they are bunkering in their properties as this COVID-19 pandemic goes away. And I hope that next year, if we have this conference again, I'm able to go to South America to present this another presentation called the Digital Transformation Strategic Plan, which includes BI as one component to it, which is the big picture for a CTO. Hopefully we'll be able to present that. I would like to leave you with the following quote from Steve Jobs. Stay hungry, stay foolish. And what that means is, staying hungry means never lose your passion to do good and to make an impact in this world. Understand that significance comes from within, not from outside. And the next thing is stay foolish, which means measure the risks, but take them. Don't be afraid of failure. And if you do fail, remember to always fail forward. I would love to connect with you. I have here on this slide my LinkedIn link to my profile. And it was a pleasure. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.